It's not. Good afternoon. At this time, we're going to call to order the meeting of April 22nd, 2025. It is 6 p.m., and we are meeting as the Historic Preservation Commission. We're going to begin with a roll call. We're going to go around the room, and I'm going to ask that all members introduce themselves speaking into the microphone.
Mark Hammis.
Laura Powell.
Elizabeth Jones.
Jane Camp.
Chuck Bradley.
Right, next, I will ask the city staff to introduce themselves.
Brad Callender, Planning and Zoning Director.
Caitlin Stubbs, Executive Assistant.
Okay, next, we'll have the approval of the agenda. Has everyone had a chance to approve, or to review the agenda?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda as submitted?
I make a motion.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion carried. Next, we are going to have an approval of the minutes. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes of March 2025?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have any changes or corrections to the minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a motion to approve the minutes?
I so move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Doesn't look like we have any old business, so we are going to move on to new business. We have 525 South Madison Avenue, which is a demolition.
All righty. So before the Historic Preservation Commission this evening is a demolition request. It's for the existing structures that are on this property, and there's actually 3 total properties included with this, but the primary address being for this building and the 3 attached little structures to it for 525 South Madison. They are asking the HPC to grant them a demolition request to clean up the site, demolish these buildings, and prep the site for new development. So they've they've submitted to the HPC a number of photographs showing you the existing conditions of the site. Hopefully you've had a chance and an opportunity to go through your packet, take a look at all the different various photographs they'd provided and the conditions of the actual site and the conditions of the building itself. And I'm just going to kind of whiz through these real quick. So hopefully you've had a chance to examine those. And then the applicant did address the standards within, in Article 54 of the Code of Ordinances, there are the standards by which the APC is supposed to consider demolitions, the standards by which they are, going to judge your demolition request by, whether to grant it or to deny it. So they've addressed these standards, and hopefully you've had a chance to read through this and how they've made their assessment of the property itself and making the request to you. And they provided that in their narrative. And so in addition to that, they've also provided you a plan to redevelop the property, and just a little bit of more detail with that, just jumping into it. They do propose to redevelop the property with some single-family residences. They'll face Knight Street, as you can see on the plan behind you. And then on the very corner, to replace the existing sort of edge on the property now with the yellow building that exists, they're proposing to replace that with potentially a multi-story building that would be maybe a mixed-use building with some type of commercial maybe on the bottom, maybe residential on top, and that you keep that sort of edge there on the corner that kind of exists there now. From a zoning perspective, they've been in contact with the planning staff, myself, and they've kind of understood what they're up against when it comes to meeting the requirements of the zoning ordinance, which this is in the special mill district character area. And so they've kind of addressed that with these plans here, and they totally understand those requirements. The plan itself, I can't speak to that, does reflect some of the standards that would be something that they could do within our zoning. But as required for a demolition application, they've provided that to you. And so these are your standards the HPC must consider. And if you're not familiar with those, I'm happy to read those to you out loud here now, but I'm going to refrain from doing that unless you ask me to. But you have to consider, though, that they have a plan, which they did provide to you. That's 54-173. And we did advertise this property with a signage and a public notice in the newspaper. And then there are the standards. It's further down in 54-173B that has all the specific standards by which you must make your decision in granting a demolition or denying a demolition. That's all that I have.
Okay.
Madam Chair?
At this time, I'll ask the applicant to come forward, introduce themselves, and speak about the plans.
Hey, so I'm Clayton Matthias. This is my wife, Shauna. We intend to beautify the Mill District. It's special to us. And what is currently there, we view as an eyesore. And also want to try to bridge the gap with some smaller, affordable housing with the residential on the Knight Street lots. Yeah, sorry, I don't really have much else to say if you want to take the reins.
Okay. Has everybody looked over the points that they made here? They made a list here. They're citing that the existing building has no significance in architecture and it does not have historic significance. They've also cited the difficulty of, let's see, let me look here. They've also cited the existing building has, again, they've cited no significance in architecture. It has been altered multiple times by previous owners and has been allowed to deteriorate. And then they are showing that they have the future plans here. Now, we will have to come back and look at those plans as to how they, influence the historic area, around them. I think y'all really made a good point with this application. I mean, I think it's really well put together. Does anybody on the panel have any questions?
Not really. They answered everything.
Yeah.
You answered a lot in the
You
application.
can tell you've done this
It's very
before,
thorough.
so once or twice.
Yeah. Jane, did you have any questions? No? Okay. Do we have any questions from the public? Okay. Well, then we're going to go ahead, and I'll just go ahead and ask, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, well, can I get you to verbalize, the motion fully?
I make a motion to approve the application as presented.
Okay. And Mark?
And I will second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carried. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Thank you, appreciate y'all.
Okay, let's see. Next on the agenda, we have 308 McDaniel Street, a new accessory garage. All right.
Just to give a quick presentation of the applicant's proposal to the city for the McDaniel Street Historic District. This is a estate-sized lot there in the center of town, and they are asking to expand actually add a new garage on the property. And just to give you a quick detail of that estate-sized property, they're showing you a proposed site plan improvement to include some additional parking and a expansion of a new garage. So just to kind of highlight the colors you see behind you there, just to give you a snapshot of what it is they intend to do to the existing improvements on the property. They're going to add some parking in the front and extend a sidewalk from that parking. And then they're going to add a little bit of a driveway to a new expanded garage feature. And they have provided a number of photographs of the existing garage. And I believe the plan is, as the applicant has indicated in their description that they provided, is they're going to basically duplicate the existing garage there pretty much identically with the carriage doors and things of that nature, pretty much identically. I think that was pretty much the gist of their request. I'm happy to turn it over to the applicant.
Okay, and at this time, I just ask you to step forward, introduce yourself, and tell us a little bit about what you want to do.
I'm the property owner. This is Matt Tarpley. He's my builder,
Okay.
so I'll let him kind of tell you. If y'all got any questions on the drawings there, I can answer anything you need to know on it. Basically, just putting a new garage where we can keep all our vehicles parked inside. The parking coming off the main driveway that's already existing, highlighted in blue there, that'll put parking in front of the tennis court, and it's going to allow us to access to the front of the house for anybody that's visiting or coming over. We had originally proposed to do a circular driveway in front, but after looking back at all the historical pictures and all, we decided we didn't even want to go that route. So we're going to come in off the existing drive for all that. And
I think this will look better.
I agree.
Good choice.
I agree. I think so too, leaving that front like it is. And that'll still give good access to the front of the house.
I think it ties in well.
Yeah.
Does anybody here on the panel have any questions?
How many cars will be parked there at one time?
How many cars? I own probably 6 or 8 cars myself, and that's the ones I want to keep inside that new garage. But as far as parking on the outside, in the additional parking, unless somebody's there playing pickleball or tennis or visiting, there'll probably never be any parked outside, 1 or 2 at the most.
That's the purpose of the additional
Garage, yeah, to keep everything inside.
Keep everything sheltered.
I have some historical cars, some antique cars that I like to keep in.
So basically, the extra parking is for company,
Yeah, basically
Yes.
visitors.
because it's really, like when I pull in, I have a trailer,
nowhere
I
to
take the
go.
entire driveway.
Yeah.
Is that's not, anything to do with the little guest house out back, is it?
It's detached from it.
It's detached.
We have considered putting a small breezeway.
Just a breezeway.
That is connected to the two, with a door on the back of the guest house and a door into the garage. But both of them, if you see right up there, those little lines that connect the two, it'll just be like a covered breezeway.
Right there, yeah.
It's a separate entity, the structure.
Right.
I know that the existing carriage house was built post-historic. It wasn't original to the
No, I know.
house.
Nothing was original to the house.
No, yeah, it got modified a few times.
Yeah.
Got a whole bunch added on
Kind
the
of
back
grew
Yeah, it did,
substantially.
from Rufus Harris's house, yeah.
yeah.
Just don't start until I'm coming to your house to take pictures with my girl for George Walton.
We always welcome that. You know, we're at 217 Jackson Street now, and everybody comes over there to take pictures.
We've been there too.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
thank you.
We did the addition, the remodel on Jackson Street too.
Y'all did a beautiful job. Beautiful job.
Same principles will be taken into this property.
I just don't want to see too many buildings on one property.
Right.
That's my only concern.
Yeah, and that's such a large property,
It is a large
don't
property,
think
but
that's
you see it right across the street from the Baptist church.
that's right,
And I know y'all are going to do it in very good taste,
absolutely.
so.
We're gonna stick with the same architecture that's already existing too. So we'll make it all match.
Okay, any more questions? Are y'all ready to make, or do we have any questions from the public? I'm sorry. Okay.
Did you really? Right? I think I remember somebody telling me about that. Yeah, I believe I did. And then, the Waldo's mom lived there for a good while.
She did.
But it's kind of a neat house, got a lot of stories. I've got them scattered everywhere. I've got them scattered from Florida to Georgia to South Carolina. And my wife says, when are you gonna get all your cars in one place? I said, maybe it this way. Yeah, maybe it this way.
Maybe tonight, we're gonna go ahead and make a motion. so
There
we
you
can
go.
We get you taken care of. All right, team, y'all ready to make a motion? All right, do I have one?
I make a motion that we approve the application that he has submitted.
Okay, do I have a second?
I second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank y'all.
Motion carried. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. All right, next on the agenda, we have adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
This concludes 2nd, 2025. We are adjourned. Thank you.